In a joint press conference, the leader of South Korea and Kim Jong Un got together and said that they are working toward a peace deal. And it seems like things are on the up and up, but there is one exception. So Kim Jong Un is willing to denuclearize to some extent if the United States agrees to some of his demands, although those demands haven't been outlined yet. So Moon Jae-in says, Chairman Kim and I share the history of having held hands like lovers and crossed the military demarcation line together twice.
Wow.
Just to give you a sense of, some of the rhetoric that, we heard from this meeting. Also, North Korea said that it would close a key missile test facility in the presence of international experts, it's very important, and potentially destroy its primary nuclear complex if the US agrees to corresponding measures. Again, those measures have not been clarified or outlined in any way yet. Now, Kim Jong Un says the world is going to see how this divided nation is going to bring about a new future on its own. They also signed a deal, which we'll get to in a minute.
I actually think this is great news, and this is why you talk to your enemies, because you never know what might come out of it. Even a buffoonish Donald Trump, at least by starting the conversation, got it going. South Korea's picked up the ball here. I think those concessions by North Korea are important. I was gonna say real. We don't know if they're real until they actually do it, because North Korea constantly lies about their intentions, but I think it looks actually really promising here. The things that they have agreed to are very specific. Specific missile testing area, a specific nuclear site, talking about creating a train system between North and South Korea, and then the very important part, Kim Jong Un going to South Korea, which is unprecedented, or unprecedented. So we'll get to that in a second. Give the contours of the deal, and then I want to tell you why I'm not as concerned about that one hiccup, which is as long as America does it too. So go ahead.
Exactly. So they signed a 17-page agreement, which is relevant. It wasn't just a simple one-page thing that Donald Trump had signed. This is very specific, has a lot of wording on how they're going to create a more peaceful environment. And so, to give you some examples, they plan to create railroad links between North and South Korea within the next year. So they're even specific about the timetable. Stop military drills aimed at each other, along with the military demarcation line, which divides the two countries. And by November 1st, remove 11 guard posts in the demilitarized zone by the end of the year. So again, these are very specific things that were outlined in that agreement, and so that's good news. Now, they're not doing this because of Trump, they're doing this despite Trump, which is good news. But Trump, of course, is gonna take some credit. On Twitter, he says Kim Jong Un has agreed to allow nuclear inspections subject to final negotiations and to permanently dismantle a test, he didn't write this, dismantle a test site and launch pad in the presence of international experts. In the meantime, there will be no rocket or nuclear testing. Hero remains to continue being, Hero remains continue to be returned to the United States. Also, North and South Korea will file a joint bid to host the 2032 Olympics. Very exciting.
That was a little too eloquent for him.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm gonna give Trump some credit. He started the proceedings overall, and if he said blanket like Dick Cheney did, we don't talk to evil and never gonna have a conversation, I think this stuff wouldn't have happened. And so he got nothing in particular out of his meeting, but now it has gone further and the South Koreans have gotten something. Now, normally, if they just met with Trump and said, oh yeah, we'll dismantle our nuclear program as long as you do the same, I'd say, oh, it's irrelevant. That doesn't mean anything. Of course, we're not going to dismantle our nuclear program, and they left it so vague. But the South Koreans are way smarter than Donald Trump, so they're not doing a 17-page document with all these specifics without having some sense of what the North Koreans mean when they talk about the concessions from the United States. Presumably, they checked with us, so I'm encouraged. Overall, I'm encouraged. I think this is a really solid step forward, but I'm, North Korea is a very, well, you can't be very unique. It's a unique situation. And when Kim Jong Un goes to South Korea, it's something that no North Korean leader has ever done. I would consider Operation Pizarro. So
what?
It's a thing I made up.
Okay.
So Francisco Pizarro took the king of the Incas hostage, and since they thought he was divinity, they would not attack the conquistadors. With 160 people, they took over the entire Inca Empire. So now that was a terrible trick on the case of Pizarro, and you should never do that in international relations because it breaks trust. But in the case of North Korea, they do think their leaders are divine, and they might hesitate, and having him down in South Korea is a fascinating moment. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm saying out of my 10 options, I would have that be one of them. But if they get it done without any kind of conflict at all and they start to form a better relationship, that would be better, that would be ideal, and this is definitely good news in that direction. Like what you see? Click the subscribe button below and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another video from the Young Turks.